Alright, today we're going to be looking at a game called Foundation. It is a game I've had for quite a while. It's still in early access on Steam, but you wouldn't know it by playing the game. The game is a city builder, but it does things just a little bit differently than your typical city builder. So I'm going to get into it a little bit, show you some footage of the game. So here you see we are making a new town center. The first thing we had to do is purchase our first plot of land. You're given a lot of different options as far as where you'd like to set your city down. Then you're going to place your town center, and it's going to come with a couple of workers. From there, you are basically going to build your city from scratch. Now, the first thing you want to do is you're going to have to build a workers' hut and assign some folks to the workers' hut. And from there, you'll have to obviously get your food ready to go. The On top, you can see the little berry trees in the top right, and we have a little stone node there as well, which will be very helpful. You will assign each of the workers to each of the workstations, and what makes Foundation unique, and you'll see a little bit of this in a minute, is you don't set down as far as what you're going to chop down as far as trees, uh, where your houses are specifically going to go. You're basically going to highlight areas. As you saw, I just highlighted the area with kind of blue, and that's called an extraction area. So whatever is in blue, that's where they're going to chop down the trees. Uh, if it's a berry bush, highlight the berry bush. If it's stone, highlight the stone. So I've built a lumber camp, and you have to assign somebody to the lumber camp. The other thing you'll notice as the game continues um, is the paths. The paths are automatically made as the folks uh, go through the paths. You'll also see there's lots of different options here as far as things you can get and achieve throughout the game. You're given a few things to start with. If I would have started next to water, I may have taken fishing, but I didn't. And this is just in the future a little bit more. The town's a little more built up at this point. You can see we have a lumber mill. You can see we have a granary, and that's where all the resources from the berries are going to go, and when we have other uh, food items, which we'll have. And what I'm doing right here is I am making basically housing territory. So the houses will automatically pop up in these green areas. This isn't something that you have to manually put down. They're automatically going to pop up. And the houses each have different levels. It'll start off with a really basic house. As you can see, one's popping up already. And a little later, I'm going to show one of the towns that I've actually been working on for quite a while since I've had the game. And you'll see what it'll eventually look like. You can zoom out pretty far as well, and you get to pick which territory you'd want next. So perhaps I want the territory on the left-hand side, which is the one I did select, because it has a berry bush, it has more stone. Um, or perhaps I pick the one on the bottom, which has more trees. But the one I did pick is that one right there. And now that is attached, and you can build and extract resources right from that area. So when you can see, when you drop things down before they're built, you can kind of see the outline of it. So it'll give you a rough idea of what it'll look like. Right now I'm popping down a market because in order to feed the people, you're going to need a market with some food in it so they can obviously go buy the food. And you're going to have to set somebody there as well. So you can see the graphics here as we're kind of, as I'm kind of showing you, there is some verticality to the game too. If you build on a hill, you know that you're building on a hill. If you're if you're building on a cliff edge, obviously your peeps are going to have to go all the way around to get on top of it. And you can zoom in pretty close in this game too, so you can zoom in and really see a great deal of detail as far as what the characters actually look like. And I'm running this at 3 times speed, but like you can see the lady right there in the market shop. So there's a lot of detail there. Now, of course, I don't have bread and fish, but it's there. It's kind of like what the market defaults to looking like. You can trade as well. That's a big way of making money in this game is by trading. That's something you'll unlock as the game progresses, and you'll also have to expand and make more areas because you will be getting immigrants into your area, which I believe come up in a second, and you get to choose whether you take them in or you don't take them in. There are times, like those two folks right there are immigrants. There are times when you might not want to take them in. If you're struggling to feed the folks, if you're struggling you don't have enough jobs for them, then you may just let them sit there and just decline them, right? But early in the game, you generally want to take them because it really helps your workforce and it'll help you expand uh, pretty quickly. And as you can see, haven't been playing that long, and we already got a nice little functioning village, right? We have our little lumber mill in the back. We have some houses already made. And like I said, I'm going to zoom in just to show you. And you can add and subtract folks just by clicking on the actual building. So the sawmill right there, if I just highlight it and click the plus button, it'll say 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3. It'll tell you how many people it can hold as far as workers go. And if you want to get rid of a worker, you would just highlight that where it says 1 of 3, 2 of 3, drop down box, and just X the person out of it. And then they'd be available to work somewhere else. And here you can see our little guy sawmilling away. Like I said, the graphics are actually pretty nice if you're into this style of graphics. It's a really nice game. It's a really relaxing game. You're not really, uh, stressing out over too much. It's something you can kind of just sit down and chill with. And here you can see we have some more immigrants. We're going to take all 3 of them and put them right to work. In the background, you can see those big rocks in the background. You would send somebody out there later on as the town gets bigger, and they would kind of explore those areas and see what kind of resources. Sometimes it'll be stone, sometimes it'll be gold or iron, and then you'll be able to mine those areas. And again, we just fast forward a little more. The town's a little more built up. We now have a well in the middle, and a well is obviously important as far as if you have a bakery or if you want the needs of all of your people to be met as far as water and food and happiness and all that kind of fun stuff. So it's definitely important to have it in a centralized area. You can of course build more than one if that's if you so choose. The building right there that's kind of almost built is where we would do our trading from. And I just fast forward and you can see that's where we're going to stock our lumber, that's where we're going to stock our stone, and that is where when the trader comes, he's going to see if the items we're willing to trade are going to be in that area. So it's important to make sure you have a warehouse at some point. And this little screen here that just popped up, this is where you're going to unlock trading. So if you go and this is also a place where you can see what everyone's job is. You can make changes right from there. But if you see it, it's a requirement. You need, I believe, 20 kind of, I forget what they're called, to be perfectly honest, but you need 20 lumber stacks, or from the sawmill, 20 planks, I guess. That's what they're called, 20 planks. Once you have the 20 planks, you can unlock trading. And then you can set up what you want to trade, what items you're looking for. So you can set the maximum item that you want in inventory, right? So let's say, or minimum item. So let's say you want at least, I don't know, 15 stone in inventory. That's the minimum. You're not going to sell until you have 15. Once you get 15, anything above that, you'll sell to the trader when they arrive. So managing what you're trading, managing resources, and there's a lot of resources as you can see that come in the game. That's kind of the crux of the game. So in a second here, I'm going to show you what you can eventually build. So this is one of my towns that I eventually built back in the day. Now you can see some of the things on top of the houses there. That just means I haven't played this since the last update. So the beautification of the areas, the houses are actually going to level down. But yeah, it's actually, you can build quite a lot here. We have a little church back there which you can build. Those are the mines that you see in the background. There's some fishing that can be done when you're on the coast. You know, more mining can be done, blacksmithing, all that kind of fun stuff. And you see the markets all around to make sure that each of the houses have access to food. And you can see the different types of houses. You can see right here how the houses leveled up, and they're different levels depending on the beautification and whether it's reached its needs or not. If you click on the house, it'll tell you exactly what it's looking for. Okay, and then again on the cliff you can build. There's really a sense of verticality to the game. Those are some farms in the background. That's a little sheep farm right there too. So you can make it for the clothing. So the clothier will need the wool from the sheep, and you can see how sprawling the town is. How it's kind of all over the place, and that's just from buying all the territory and sort of having a section for everything. That's a little cathedral or church right there. You can have your bridges going over little islands, and it's just really a quaint, fun little game that I have had quite a great time playing. So I know it's on Steam right now. It says it's still in early access, but as you can see, it's quite has quite a lot of features already in it. There's also the option for sending people off to war. It's not like an RTS or anything like that. You just kind of send them off. They're gone for a little bit, and they come back and either succeeded or failed. So lots of different options in this game. Again, this is Foundation. It's in early access, but it's got quite a bit going for it as well. And it's one of the games that I have been enjoying quite a bit. So thanks for stopping by and watching. And if you liked it, like I said, it's on Steam. So thanks for watching and see you again soon.